Hello everyone. Today let's explore how to make a mini welding machine from a spark plug in a very simple way. Look at this. Like a little magic trick, I make a piece of DC electrical wire appear in the palm of my hand. I use pliers to strip off a section of the outer insulation at any one end of the wire. Then I use my hands to split the copper core into two separate ends. This makes it easier for us to connect, because copper conducts electricity better when separated like this. Next, I remove the contact tip with the spark plug cap from the spark plug. Now, I connect one stripped end of the wire to the threaded part of the spark plug. Gently twist it by hand so the wire wraps tightly around the thread, ensuring a solid electrical connection. I will connect the remaining end of this wire to the threaded part of the spark plug. I use pliers to cut off a short piece of wire to avoid extra length. Then I strip the outer insulation. Finally, I split the copper core into two ends and connect them directly to the threaded part of the spark plug. From my experience, shortening the wire makes it easier to handle and reduces the risk of tangling. Now, I take a longer piece of DC electrical wire. I strip the end of the wire and split the copper core into two ends. Choosing a longer wire here is to create the necessary length for the handle later. I connect this wire to the grounding electrode part of the spark plug. Wrap it tightly by hand, as this ensures good contact and keeps the current stable according to the principle of electrical conduction. For more safety, I use electrical tape to wrap around the connection points. Electrical tape prevents current leakage and protects us from electric shocks. From personal experience, I always wrap 2 layers for extra security. Next, I take a piece of PVC plastic pipe. I measure about 12 centimeters, which is roughly 4.7 inches. I use a marker to mark the measured position. Clear marking prevents cutting errors. Now, I use scissors to cut the plastic pipe at the marked position. Hold the scissors firmly and cut straight so the pipe edge is smooth. I will insert the homemade device, which consists of a spark plug, a short wire, and an electric cord, into the cut section of the pipe. The purpose is to secure the device inside the pipe to make a handle for the welding machine. However, it's a bit loose, so we'll adjust it in the next step. This teaches us that sometimes flexibility is needed to finish a product. Because the pipe is a bit loose, I use tissue paper to wrap around the threaded part of the spark plug. Make sure not to wrap the entire thread so the copper wire remains exposed. The tissue adds thickness, helping the device fit snugly, based on the principle of mechanical friction. To make it more secure, I apply glue to the tissue wrapped around the thread. The glue will keep the device from slipping out of the plastic pipe. A small tip: choose fast-drying glue to save time. We wait for 3 seconds for the glue to dry completely. A short waiting time keeps the project moving smoothly. Now, at the other end of the homemade device's cable, I strip a section of the outer insulation. Then, I split the copper core into 2 ends. This prepares for the next connection, keeping the current flowing in the right direction. I connect this wire to a metal washer. Wrap it tightly by hand to ensure good contact, as the washer will conduct electricity effectively. I bring out an AA battery. The hard core inside this battery can make an ideal welding tip. Warning: if it's your first time cutting open a battery casing, wear gloves for safety. I use diagonal pliers to cut a small section of the metal casing at the battery head. For those not wearing gloves, cut slowly to avoid scratching your hands. Next, I use pliers to pull the inner core out of the battery. Pull slowly so the core stays intact, ready for grinding. I use tissue paper to wipe the battery core clean of dust. Wiping thoroughly makes the surface smooth, improving precision during use. Now, I attach the hard core of the battery to the drill head. The purpose is to sharpen the core tip. From experience, using a drill saves more effort than doing it by hand. After grinding, the tip of the core is sharp and neat. Check carefully to ensure safety, then set it on the table. I bring out a quick metal connector. The purpose is to connect the threaded part of the spark plug to the homemade welding tip from the battery core. Follow the connection method shown on the video screen. Doing it this way is actually very simple. We've completed the first stage. Where are you up to? Comment below so everyone knows. Get ready to move on to the next stage. I take out another piece of DC electrical wire. Strip a section of the outer insulation at any one end. This step prepares for a new connection, keeping the final product a mystery. I connect this wire to an alligator clip. Wrap it tightly so the clip holds firmly, as the alligator clip helps make safe temporary connections. At the other end of the electrical wire, I strip a section of the outer insulation. Then, I split the copper core into 2 ends. Splitting increases the contact surface, following basic electrical principles. I connect this wire to a flat metal washer. Make sure to wrap it evenly so the current distributes well. I bring out an electric drill. The drill's battery is important because it provides a strong power source. In front of you is the 21V6.0 A type. From experience, this battery type is durable and suitable for DIY projects. Now, I attach 2 stainless steel flat washers to the battery slots. One on the negative terminal, one on the positive terminal. Connecting the correct polarity prevents short circuits and ensures absolute safety. And here, please feast your eyes on the final result. A homemade mini welding machine, crafted from nothing more than an old spark plug, a few wires, a drill battery, and a touch of skill from your own hands. It might sound simple, but the operating principle is actually quite fascinating. A spark plug is originally designed to withstand extremely high temperatures and voltages inside an engine, with each ignition reaching tens of thousands of volts. This high voltage requires a conductive, durable, heat-resistant metal structure, and that's exactly why the spark plug becomes the perfect heart for a mini welder. When connected to a sufficiently strong DC power source, the spark plug's electrode focuses energy on a tiny point, producing enough heat to melt thin metal. In other words, it works on the same principle as an arc welder, only smaller and made from readily available parts. Additionally, the spark plug's design offers the advantage of a surrounding ceramic insulator, which helps reduce electrical leakage and protect the user. When combined with multi-strand copper wire, a type with low resistance and excellent conductivity, the current flows more steadily, the welding spark is more concentrated, and the weld itself becomes stronger. So, from something seemingly useless, we've turned it into a tool that can fuse not just metal, but also the belief that creativity knows no limits. Speaking of spark plugs, it reminds me of a rather amusing true story from the US. Back in 1970, in the state of California, there was a local racer named Jack Sloan. During a race, his car broke down and he discovered the spark plug was cracked. With no spare parts available, Jack removed a spark plug from the film cruise generator and fitted it into his car. The result? The engine roared back to life instantly, and he even finished in third place. This story later became a legend in racing circles, proof that sometimes a small part can save an entire game. That's why I believe that when you build this mini welding machine yourself, you're not just creating a tool, you're training your mind to improvise, like mechanics, racers, or anyone who's ever had to adapt in a tight spot. Once you've finished, try making a few small welds to feel its power. The sensation of metal melting and fusing together is truly satisfying, as if you're holding a tiny lightning bolt in your hand. And if this project excites you, don't forget to share photos or videos of your results in the comments. I'd love to see your creative versions. Hit like to show your support, and subscribe so we can meet again in the next DIY ideas. Thanks for joining me, and see you in the next video.